All right. Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Drag List Live, where we bench race with the world's top drag racers. We're going to call it Drag Racing Live from now on. One of these days, I'll figure that out. Tonight, we're joined by Chad and Hunter Green, NHRA Funny Car's ultimate father and son team. From running their own operation to racing side by side at 330 miles an hour, the Greens are going to share what it really takes to build a family nitro program. Looking forward to talking to Chad and Hunter tonight. Without further ado, let's bring him in. Chad and Hunter Green, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks
Hi,
for having.
guys.
So great to talk to you. I really appreciate Miss Kay out there. Got all the great shout outs from you as she kind of trailed you around the NHRA circuit this year. Thank you so much for those little snippets of video, but we're going to take it long form tonight.
Right on.
Let's start with the big picture. I'll start with you, Chad, and Hunter. You can fill in. How would you describe the current state of the Green Family Funny Car program, and how did the recent season go?
I think the current state of our racing program is we're in really good shape right now. I mean, last year we came out with the second car, and that kind of came together all, at the end of 2024, the very end, and we kind of had to put that team together in a rush. And, I think all in all, the team performed very well for the first year out. And yeah, I look at it, it was a total success for us last year. And, for Hunter to get the opportunity to step up and to drive a nitro funny car like that, like he did last year, that was just a huge opportunity for him. And I think he, you know, took full advantage of it, and he definitely made us all look good. So we're very excited going into this season. We've made changes, to our program to try and better it as we do every year. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to getting back out there and continuing on with the momentum that we built last year.
Sounds great. What about it, Hunter? Getting in there and making everybody look good. That's what Dad says.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, just try to look professional out there. And I think it went pretty well in the first year. I'm proud to say I didn't hit any cones. I did scrape the wall one time, barely, but yeah, I was able to make it through the season without crossing the center line or hitting any cones. So I'm proud to say that. Yeah, made us look professional, I hope.
Well, it looks good. I know a guy named John Force that's done plenty of wall grazing and cone hitting, didn't seem to hurt his popularity. But you want to do
No,
that later.
yeah, all in all, it was really a great season for us. The second team came together really well. I started off the season with the win at the Gator Nationals, which really boosted us. We ran into, with my car during middle season, we ran into some issues with our clutch disc program that kind of set us back a little bit. But uh, by the time, the countdown came around, we actually, in the countdown, we made it to the semifinals multiple times. And, went from 12th place all the way to 7th place. So we really turned it around there at the end. And next year we're focused on, having both cars more the same, where we can really feed off the data from each other. And yeah, it's going to be good.
Sounds great. The big number seven then is that on Chad's car. What do you think, Hunter? Going to go in there and duplicate it, get single digits on both of them this year, maybe low single digits.
That would be nice, and eventually probably, but I'm still just doing a partial season this year, so
Yep.
hopefully here pretty soon we'll be able to do that. Hopefully we can both be single digits. Hopefully I'll have the higher digit. But
Got it. That's what it's all about. Hey, folks, we're here with NHRA Funny Car stars Chad and Hunter Green. Be sure to like and share. Let's get your questions ready for the QA session coming up right here at 8:30 Eastern Time. So, Chad, you've worn just about every hat in this sport. What's been the biggest adjustment going from racer dad to the dad sharing the track with your son?
Oh, I mean, that's just all fun and great and good times. So, I mean, there's no adjustment there. I mean, I'm happy to have my son up here with me in the Nitro Funny Car ranks racing. I mean, there's nothing more you could ask for than that.
Mm-hmm. Hunter, it's coming along.
Yeah, he's definitely coming along. Like I said, he made us all look good last year. He did a really professional job driving the car. And no, I have no problem seeing Hunter there, racing against Hunter, lining up against him. It's all good. And he's where he needs to be. He's where he belongs because, yeah, he's a fantastic race car driver.
That sounds great. Hunter, you're still making dad buy dinner when you guys go out after, though, right?
Yeah, yeah, I am for now.
It's really cool. How do you guys have how's the mechanical deal set up with your teams? Do you have a separate crew chiefs for each car, kind of like, the John Forces and the Don Schumachers have had, or do you sort of do it all together?
Well, we're kind of making a little bit of a change this year. So last year we had separate crew chiefs on both cars. I actually have two crew chiefs on my car, Joe Serena and Dean Marinas. They're the same guys that's been with me since I started. And this year they're actually gonna split up and run both cars. So they're kind of gonna we got two crew chiefs, but they're gonna be running kind of hands on both cars this
Hmm.
year. So we're trying to make the cars run more the same, more identical, so we can really use the data to feed off of.
Right. Yeah, that's fantastic. With those, I know those clutch discs are a pain, aren't they? I mean, that's such a crazy supply chain for getting
Yeah,
these things from the factory, getting them, scuffed right the way you want them, and I mean, I've heard of, teams having a terrible season just because they couldn't get the discs quite right. So,
that's right. And it's that's the way it is. And all the teams have to deal with that. And unfortunately, when they make a batch of clutch disc, every batch comes out a little bit differently. So, when they make a batch, that batch is only going to last so long. And eventually you're going to have to go to a new batch. It's going to be a little bit different, and it acts different. And it's a matter of figuring out within a clutch pack, you got several different combinations of different clutch disc in there. So if you just change one of the disc in that pack, it can affect the whole car and how it runs. So, that happens. And then you got to, the crew chiefs, they got to adjust and tune to adjust and figure it all out.
right, it's a nightmare of multiple variables, isn't it? Ridiculous. Well, Hunter, you've been growing up around nitro racing. Growing up is one thing, but strapping into a funny car is another. When did it become real for you that this is what you wanted to do?
It did not become real for me until 2024, late 2024. Uh, you know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have never imagined I would have been driving a funny car. I was driving top alcohol and always had the goal to drive top fuel.
Hmm.
And, maybe if I drove top fuel for a little bit, then maybe try funny car because funny cars are different beasts than a dragster. I mean, the amount of driving you have to do is it's completely different than a dragster. So, I mean, yeah, I had my sights set on top fuel. And whenever my dad and Blake came to me with the idea of driving a second funny car, yeah, I mean, it was pretty intimidating at first. But I didn't know when I'd get the opportunity to drive a top fuel dragster. So you kind of got to just jump on that opportunity and attack it.
Hmm. How did the first hits go? How did that come about? Obviously, you made the decision. The opportunity was there. So how did you transition? A couple of test runs, rent a track for a day or so, or
Yeah, in 2024, towards the end of the season, we tested in Vegas, and I drove my dad's car. The first run didn't go that great. I mean, I hit the gas. I went like 100 feet, and I let off because I was not ready for that acceleration right off the line. And on top of that, the blower was in front of my face, and I'm not used to having a blower in front of my face. And
right?
I think whenever they strapped me down, I got cinched down a little too low in the seat, and so the blower was blocking the center of the track, and I was just thinking to myself, well, I guess this is how it's supposed to be. I guess you just got to kind of look around it. But then I said something when we got back to the pit, and we ended up putting some towels underneath me and raising me up a little bit. And then the second run went a lot better. I think I did an 8th mile run, maybe a little farther, and that was all I did in 2024. And then I didn't drive the car again until the Bradenton test session before
Hmm.
the Superstar Shootout, and made a few more runs there. Made my first full run there, and then completed my licensing I completed it there, and then I did a few more test hits in Gainesville before the first race of the year. Yeah, and it all went smoothly uh, after those first couple runs for the most part.
That's really great. Do you mind sharing who signed your license? I guess Chad Green was one of them. Are you
Yeah,
authorized?
yeah, he was, and Blake Alexander was because they were my teammates, and that was just the easiest.
Nice. That's really great. Yeah, I mean, visibility is not great in a funny car no matter what. Even in Pro Mod,
No,
the great Ronnie Sucks, back in the late 80s, he used to race the United States Super Circuit when Pro Mod was just starting. And that scoop was so big, he actually mounted a mirror on the side that would let him see the tree because he just couldn't see the tree around that big old, scoop that he was running at the time. So you do what you got to do. That's
yeah.
so cool. Well, what's kind of different? Chad, I'll go to you. What's about running a family-owned, self-operated team compared to the big multi-car operation? Although you guys have two, maybe that's what it takes these days. Where does it help, and where do things get tough?
I mean, for me, it's always been, I've always been on my own, pretty much self-funded, from when I started racing, from going through, racing pro mod, my pro mod days racing. Uh, and, I've always had my family around with me. When I was racing pro mod, Hunter was there with me working on the car. Uh, and at that time, he really didn't have the interest in driving. That just kind of grew and came along with time. And uh and my daughter, she's always been around, and she's still around at the races. She's currently dating Gage Herrera, the pro stock motorcycle superstar. So because of that, she's around at the races, and it's a whole family deal with us. My wife, my kids, we're all there. So, I don't know what it's like to be, a part of one of these big organizational teams like Force or Coletas or the Schumachers, or one of those big teams, because it's just never been that way for us. But
Right.
it's definitely something to aspire towards, for sure, because yeah, we're definitely interested in growing our racing operation. As you can tell, we've added a second car. Hopefully one of these days we're gonna have three cars with Blake and Hunter both racing full time. That's our
Mhm.
goal and aspiration. So yeah, it's a growing process. We're constantly trying to grow our team and our organization on the inside. We're adding machines to our race program, where we can service more of our own parts in shop, and just all kinds of certain things like that. So we're growing to try and aspire to be like the big teams.
Gotcha. Wow. It's climbing the mountain, but you've got the win. That is awfully hard to get these days on the National Hot Rodding Association circuit, but fantastic. Well, Hunter, do you do day to day? Are you working at the shop, or do you what's your days look like when you're not at the races? You mentioned that you're running a partial tour this year.
So our race shop is in Indy, and me and my dad, we have a company in Texas, Bonco, which is our primary sponsor,
Mhm.
and that's an oil field service company. And so me and my dad are there every day working at Bonco. And at the same time, there's so much stuff going on with the racing, even in the off season, logistically, and that we're also handling here. So yeah, between Boncoat and Chad Green Motorsports, it keeps us both really busy.
Right, no doubt. There's a lot of a lot of Texas oil field money in nitro racing these days. I mean, I think the last few folks we've had on had something to do with it, but that's
Yeah, and we're from a pretty small town, in Texas, Midland, Odessa, which is oil field country. But
mhm.
for such a small area, we've got several people in our community that race with us in NHRA at the professional levels.
Yeah, I had Mason McGahey on here last week, so of course,
Yeah,
you
there you
probably
go. He's our neighbor.
probably see him in the supermarket or the
Yeah.
next spread over, probably.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, they're good friends of ours.
Oh, really great. And good to hear about Gage Herrera. We've had him on the show pretty recently. I mean, a couple months ago. So
Okay,
yeah,
great.
we'll
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
well,
Gage, great young guy. I love him.
he's amazing. Well, folks, we're here with Funny Car stars Chad and Hunter Green. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for these interviews and great how-to videos are going to be coming up in 2026. That would be awfully cool. Maybe we'll ask Miss K to sweet talk you guys again. We're going to do smaller non-live videos where we do like 10 or 15 minutes and just ask you how to set a clutch or something that folks can like use in their day to day. And no, we'll have to come up with a set of questions there for folks, but a lot of folks interested in doing that for us. But
Definitely. And I'll tell you, along those lines, I mean, I just got to plug it. You know, we've got a really awesome YouTube channel that Hunter is behind and handles and does all that, does all the videos. But we've got some really good, videos on our YouTube channel that shows exactly how we rebuild the clutch, how we
oh,
rebuilt the blower, goes through all that stuff. So for anyone that's interested, yeah, go check it out.
oh, that's awesome, fantastic. We'll get that link and we'll get that shared here so folks can check it out. Um, but speaking about like a learning question, let's do a learning question for racers or teams of listening who want to move up a level. What's one discipline, either preparation, communication, decision making, that's absolutely non-negotiable in funny car racing? I guess we can start with you, Chad, and then we'll go to Hunter.
I mean, when you talk about move up a level,
I mean,
like
maybe a class or maybe or from the bottom of the field to the top of the field. I mean, what is it like a discipline that you really think that's making you successful? Literally a nitro funny car winner in the year 2025 is
that.
pretty
I mean,
impressive.
for me, that it's pretty simple. It's the people that you have around to help you. I mean, this is 100% a team sport. It's not Chad Green out there racing, me doing it all. I do actually very little of it. I get to do the fun part of get in the car and stomp on the gas. But without my guys and my team, and it's just like running any business. You're as good as your employees, and you got to have good people around you that know what they're doing, and they give a shit. And that's really the key to success. I mean, if you want to move up, uh, if you're struggling at racing, find somebody with the right knowledge that can help you.
Right. That's great. You got to be humble. You can't no know-it-alls in this sport. I mean, they're humbled very easily. Even if you had the hot combo 2, 3 seasons ago, it's easy to lose that combo, and you got to bring in some new thinkers.
That's right. I'm definitely not the smartest guy on my team.
That's what they say. You don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. You're in the wrong room, right?
That's right. Exactly.
Well, Hunter, what about you? As you've obviously taken the big leap and started driving the big cars. What is it that you might be able to share that, gave you some success in doing that?
Well, especially when it comes to funny cars, but any class really is having the discipline to lift your foot off the pedal and get out of it as soon as you think something's not right. Even if you're
Mhm.
just 90% sure the run's going good, that's not good enough. You got to be 100% sure because these things can get out of your control just like that. And, nobody will remember or care if you lift and coast down to the finish line, but they're going to remember and care if you do something else. If you put it in the wall across the center line, put another driver in danger or anything. So, yeah, I would say having the discipline to forget looking like a hero and just take your foot off the gas if something doesn't feel right.
All right. In your experience, I've heard this a lot of times, but I wonder if what you felt in the car is it's like a good run is almost boring relative to, a run where you really have to fight it. Does that
Yeah,
it been your
yeah.
experience?
Well, I don't know. That's tough to answer.
Not in a
With funny
nitro funny
cars,
car.
No
with
boring runs there. Sorry.
yeah, that's true. It's rare that you have a run where your hands just stay still and you're going straight down the track. Every run is different than the last. Every single one, the car's doing something a little different, throwing a little different things at you, and I'm not even there yet. It takes some time to adapt to a funny car, to feel it and know whenever you're on a good run and know when you need to stay in it. And I still haven't felt everything there is to feel in a funny car. I mean, you need a lot of
Mhm.
runs to do that, but I definitely came a long way by running. I think I counted it up. I had 55 runs last
Wow.
year.
Wow.
which is a good amount, but still I need a lot more. I mean, like I said, every run there's something different, something feels different. And the line between needing to lift and staying in it is hard to gauge sometimes. So that's why even if you're not a little sure, you should probably just get out of that thing because they can put you in the wall in a hurry. I mean, if it drops cylinders down track, I mean, you have to turn your hands all the way. You have to have the steering wheel cranked. So
Right.
yeah, they're crazy machines, and I look forward to making more runs and improving my learning because there's still a lot to learn.
That's really great. Yeah, I don't think people can comprehend the difference between four cylinders pushing one side and three the other. If you
Yeah.
drop one, it's pretty amazing. Well, Chad, what lessons did you intentionally pass down to Hunter, and which ones do you think he had to learn the hard way on his own?
I don't know. I mean that's I've just always I've always tried to raise my kids to be the best and to do what they want. Racing wasn't something that I pushed Hunter to do at all. I never pushed Hunter to race. Like I said, for a while he really didn't have any interest in racing, and racing is one of those things that if you're going to do it, you really have to have a passion for it. So that's something that Hunter developed on his own, not because I pushed him in that direction. I can remember even back in 2019 when I crashed and broke my back, racing in pro mod. Hunter told me, if Dad, if I ever see you crash like that again, I don't know if I can even go to the racetrack again. So he went from that to now he's racing nitro funny cars. So no, I'm really proud of my kids. I'm really proud of Hunter and everything he does, on and off the track. And I just can't say enough good about that and him.
Well, that's so great. And Hunter, anything you want to add there? That sounds pretty good. Tell him.
Uh, yeah, I mean, like you said, I had no interest in racing, and watching him crash his pro mod a couple of times, and then the last real bad one he had where he broke his back, it definitely kind of freaked me out of racing. And I'll still say right now, I have no interest in getting into a pro mod. I think those things are just insane. But with time came understanding the sport better and being around it, being around him, constantly asking questions. I mean, whenever he drove pro mod, he was still making licensing runs every year in a nitro funny car and Tim
Mhm,
Wilkerson's nitro funny car.
mhm.
So early on, I still asked him questions about how it was to drive a funny car, and the speed of it and everything. So, eventually I got the urge to go to Frank Hawley's drag racing school just to try it out. And I was terrified at first. I still think to this day, the most nervous I've ever been in a race car was the first time I strapped into Frank Hawley's super gas car, nine
Mhm.
second car. And yeah, but doing that, being around the sport for years and talking to the right people, developing my understanding for the cars and how they're driven, how they work, all added to my confidence and kind of added to the urge to eventually want to start racing myself.
That's so cool. And yeah, that even John Force said when he saw Johnny Rocca in the a pro mod car down in Gainesville, it was about 10, 15 years ago. Those guys are nuts. It's like, but well, Hunter, what's something you think you've brought to the team, either new ideas, mindset, or approach that made the program better? And maybe, you probably not want to brag on yourself. I'll bet Chad can answer that, but let's start with you, Hunter.
Well, like you said, we have a good YouTube channel, and whenever I'm not racing, I focus on our social media and our videos and anything I can do for our sponsors. And I think that's what I bring to the table mostly. I mean, we've built one of the most successful Instagram and YouTube pages in our sport, actually. And I only get to work on that whenever I'm out of the seat. I really
Right.
can't do much whenever I'm in the seat. So I stay busy and contribute doing that whenever my dad's racing. And I actually have fun doing that too. I have fun just filming and trying to make content. And when I'm making our YouTube videos, I'm going around interviewing our crew chiefs, our crew, and I'm learning at the same time while I'm making the videos because these videos are
Right.
meant to be informative. So yeah, that's my number one contribution. And then, like I said, whenever I'm here uh, in Texas, we're handling things on the business side of racing all the time, and
Right.
I'm there to help my dad however he needs me to help. And yeah, yeah. So we stay busy, and I stay busy even when I'm not in the seat.
Got it. Yeah, a lot of hard work there, folks. Well, we'll ask one more question and we'll jump over to the chat line here in a moment. But what's your been your most memorable weekend together so far? Good, bad, or chaotic, and why does it stand out? I mean, obviously the win has to be up there, but
I think my dad's answer will probably be the same as mine. Uh, in Pomona in 2023, we both won that race at the same time. I was driving Top Alcohol, he was driving Funny Car, and we both won that race on the same night. The NHRA finals at the end of the year. So that's my best memory. That might be his. He might have another one. The Gator Nats was also pretty cool too. Whenever he won that one, Dad, what do you think?
No, definitely 100% Pomona 2023. Yeah, we ended the year. Uh, yeah, it was is really a dream weekend. I got to watch Hunter win first, and we made it to the finals in the funny car, and I got my first win in a nitro funny car there the same weekend that Hunter won, and the last race of the season. And let me tell you something great about winning. The NHRA finals, last race of the season. Get to win it with my son, and you're a winner for like 3 months. So yeah, you get to
Yeah,
enjoy it a lot longer than during the season. If you win a race, well, by the time the next race comes around and someone else wins, well, you're not a winner anymore. But yeah, you win the NHRA finals, you get to be a winner for 3 months. So yeah, we won that together. Uh, Really, yeah, totally number one.
that's
And
fantastic.
just to add to why that was so memorable, at the time, Daniel Wilkerson was his crew chief, and that was Daniel's first win. And the car that we beat was Daniel's dad, Tim.
Oh
So
man.
it was
Yeah,
all really
I raced
dramatic.
him in the finals with Daniel, his son, tuning my car, and I actually beat him on a hole shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then we got to stick both cars in the winner's circle, the dragster and the funny car. We got
Yeah,
a bunch of good pictures.
that's beautiful. Keeping it in the family. 'Cause Wilkinsons are great guys, by the way.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know Daniel actually. No, I've talked to his dad, but I gotta
Oh,
send Miss K out after him.
We wouldn't be where we are.
Daniel's a great guy. He was my crew chief for a few years before he got the opportunity to take over driving for his dad.
Mhm.
And I'm confident if that would have happened, he would still be my crew chief. So, no, great guy. He had a great racer.
That's awesome. Well, you guys did something that's, I don't know exactly how many of them are. There's people who track this better than me, but there's very, very few, father-son teams that have been in the same winner circle. It happens every couple of years, right? Either
Yeah.
husband,
No,
wife, father, son, something like that.
there is very few that's won, national events like that.
Mhm.
I don't know the exact list, but I do know it's short.
Oh man, so great. Well, gentlemen, let's go to John and the Dina Parisi chat bleachers. We named him after our friend Dina, who races a Pro Mod Cadillac. But she came up with that name, and I love it. So we have a whole bunch of folks listening in. John, who's out there tonight?
But we have a real good crowd here tonight from coast to coast. And starting with Randy, he said, good evening, John, from Northern California. You'll have great guests tonight. Ford Purley had a few questions. He asked if both cars are mechanically prepared alike.
Yes, both cars are mechanically repaired alike. We use the same parts and pieces internally, as far as motors, blowers, heads, all that on both cars are identical. Uh, the chassis are different, they're different manufacturers, but that the chassis and the bodies are different. But as far as the mechanical goes, it's all the same.
Okay, cool. And he also said, when getting ready to race, are there drivers that can distract you, or do you not let that get to you?
No, there's no drivers out there that distract me. I don't know about Hunter. I wouldn't think so.
Uh, you know, you might think about a little bit before you strap in, maybe the night before you know who you're going to be running the next day. You may think, I really want to beat that person more than, somebody else. But once the car starts up, it all goes out the window. And once the car started, you're not thinking about anything else except for doing your job as good as you can do it. You're not thinking about the guy in the other lane. You can't see him. So, yeah.
It's,
Right.
back in the day, they used to do a little intimidation. Some of the pro racers, this is the 70s and the 80s where they'd go stare you down or they'd say this or that, or certainly on the match race trail. But I
I,
guess I would imagine we don't see that in NHRA anymore, do we?
I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm the intimidator. I don't get intimidated.
There you go. It's different when the shoe's on the other foot. Gotcha.
Well, Ford Purley also asked if y'all can post your YouTube link.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you share that with us, we'll get it up for you. And
Yes,
Okay, cool.
it's Chad Green Motorsports.
Yep.
There you go, Ford. That's all you got to do, man, is just type in Chad Green Motorsports and you're there.
That's right. Chad Green Motorsports. Check it out. Like I said, Hunter's made a lot of great videos on there, all the way from a 50-minute video with them rebuilding the whole car in between rounds to specialized videos with them, specialized rebuilding the clutch, rebuilding the blower, different stuff like that. So definitely check that out. Our Instagram is Chad Green FC for Funny Car. Check that out too. We got a great Instagram page, great Facebook. Facebook is Chad Green Motorsports.
All right, man.
awesome.
That's great. And Kay Thurkelson is here, and she said, heck yeah, Chad Green Motorsports is in the house. She said, thank you, thank you, thank you, Chad and Hunter, Funny Cars, and CGM Rock. And she said, I've been hustling after Chad for quite some time. Finally got him to commit to the show, and we drug Hunter in with him. She laughed out loud. She says, two very kind gentlemen. Wish them both a successful 2026 season. And Hunter, if you ever need some assistance with content, Kay said she'd be happy to volunteer. She's a CGM fan for life.
Yeah, we love Miss K.
Yep.
We love her, and yeah, for sure. I told her, it's been some time since she first asked me to come on the show, and the first time I asked her, I told her I would, and I meant it. So I'm a man of my word. It took a little time, but yeah, here I am.
Well, we're glad to have you here. I have to share something with Miss Cave. Setting up, we set these up quite ways in advance, about a month or two. And she wouldn't tell me who the January 26th guest was. She goes, I got a special guest. I'm not telling you who it is. And this is literally, I'm not BS, and the most excited she's been. I'm like, damn, we got Garlits and Muldowney together. What are we gonna get over here? But
Yeah.
no, this was her dream get, and I appreciate Miss K, and I appreciate you guys for coming on. And I'm having a hell of a time myself here. So
Thank you, Miss K.
Kay's doing a great job for everybody, and we really appreciate her. And let's see, Rob McCabe said, I remember seeing Chad racing Pro Nitrous. I wonder if there is any possibility that Chad returns to Pro Mod like at the Bradenton races, and any chance that Hunter would drive those.
yeah, it's not what I was sort of picking
I
up
already
on.
answered that. I'm not getting in one of those things. I have no plans right now.
So, I mean, to answer that question for me, I still have my Pro Mod. I still have my Pro Nitrous car. I would love to take it out and drive it. I took it to the Bradenton World Series of Pro Mod year before last. I think it was like 2 years ago was the last time I had it out. One of the problems is with taking that car to like the Winter Series, which is going on right now, is it's a nitrous car, and my car was an NHRA quarter mile Pro Mod, and it's just not light enough these days, and I wouldn't be competitive in that car if I was to take it and try to run it these eighth mile races against these guys. I mean, I don't know if y'all, of course, y'all saw, this last weekend. It's just the numbers are incredible. I mean, to qualify, it's 355 to 359. I mean, those numbers are insane. And, there's a couple nitrous cars that could, get in those numbers. Halsey, I think he ran a 58 or something, but it's just tough. And that's what my car is, a nitrous car. As far as running it, I would have more success if I brought it out and ran in NHRA, to be honest with you, because that's what it's set up for. But running, 20 races with the nitro car is just tough to do. It's tough to do it all. It takes more money and all those things. But I love pro mod racing, and like I said, I still have my pro mod. I get to look at it every day, and yeah, hopefully one of these days I'll get it back on track.
All right.
Awesome. There you go, Rob. Rob's our research editor, so all the drag racing list entries get most of them get initiated by him these days.
Yeah, he said he just got the drag list caught up before he goes to work tomorrow. And we
good.
are caught up for the moment on the chat board, y'all.
Well, I appreciate it, everybody. Love chatting with you, and good questions as always. If we'll might check in one more time before we roll out of here, but gentlemen, looking ahead, what are the goals for the green team? Consistency, round wins, expansion. I think you've covered that already. What should fans be watching for next?
I mean, our whole goal, I'll talk first and I'll let Hunter talk, but we've got several goals. We're trying to, this whole racing business is a business. It's more than what you just see on the weekends on TV, us going down the track. It's a whole big organization with employees, and it takes a lot to run one of these organizations. When you add two cars to the mix, it just compounds that. And like Hunter alluded to, every day back in Texas, I mean, we're dealing with not only my Bonco business at home, but we're dealing with racing business on the phone with our crew chiefs, on the phone with our parts manufacturers, on the phone with our partners. You're trying to get we're trying to grow our partner base. We definitely need and want more partners with our race program. So that's something we're constantly working on. Hunter's constantly trying to grow our social media. As he mentioned, because of Hunter, and this is what he really adds to the table. More than anything is what he's done with our social media. He has actually grown it to. We do have the top social media in our sport in
Wow.
drag racing. I mean, if you go look at the numbers, we get more views than anybody out there, and that's all attributed to Hunter. And it's all a main goal towards, gaining more partners so we can grow our race program, grow it to eventually, like I said, 3 cars and a big organization. So we have so many goals and objectives on the table that we're going for. Yeah, we're just not out here just racing every weekend. No, we've got serious goals and objectives. And of course, we want to go out and win more races next year for sure. Got to win in 23, got to win last year. Our goal is to get a couple of wins in a season, and maybe see both cars win. That'd be a great accomplishment. So lots of stuff to work towards and lots of good, exciting stuff going on.
That's exciting. And you had 2 cars, and we also got 2 towns, right? You got folks back in Indy, so I imagine you have someone managing that deal while you're working down in Texas. And
Oh, definitely. We have a full-time race shop there.
fantastic. And Hunter, I got to give you props, buddy, because if you're number one, I mean, I can barely turn on my computer without seeing my buddy Ron Capps and you doing some sort of social media. So folks are out there, and Erica Andrews' sister doing a bunch of stuff, Courtney. So that's really saying something. And I know it's part of the deal, right? You got to get in front of the fans. You got to get
Yeah.
the stuff out there.
Yeah, we're trying to attract as many eyeballs as we can so we can pitch that to sponsors and show them that, yeah, we get a lot of views on our videos. And so that's the main goal. That's the main focus, especially with YouTube, I believe. Crazy stat I heard the other day is that more people watch YouTube than they watch Netflix. That YouTube's the #1 streaming platform there is right now. So to build that channel up, I mean, we want to make it so great that sponsors just, they have no choice but to acknowledge it and want to partner with us. So yeah, I think it's really important. It's a lot more these days than just a sticker that gets seen on TV. You got to get creative.
Right. That's so great. And we're deep in, diving into YouTube a little deeper ourselves. And after doing this for a number of years, we've been on the air since 2010. I've started talking to a YouTube expert and found out I've been doing it wrong since 2010, at least in terms of YouTube. We just did move here last year, and then there's a ton of stuff that where Facebook gave it up, and they said take your videos off, we're deleting them. So we got stuff we got to stick back up here, but Hunter, how difficult it is to, there's just getting it done. So I agree. And I
Full-time
heard
job
this.
almost.
Yeah, I heard the guy was telling me the other day, and I think exactly what you said. He said, if you have a business this year and if you don't have YouTube promoting it, you're going to be falling behind. And so,
Yeah.
so cool to hear that you guys are on top of that. That's amazing. Well, let me ask you, I know you guys have done an amazing job. You talked about a lot of your partners already, but you want to share a couple of those folks that helped you out, either your sponsors or some of the folks on the team. I'll kind of give you a shout out opportunity here.
Definitely, definitely. The first person I want to mention is Scott Higgs with Flying H Drag Strips. He owns Flying H Drag Strips there outside of Kansas City. He joined us as a partner and a friend last season, and he's just been tremendous. He sponsors us through his other business, which is Logan Parts of Body. So they build basically utility truck beds, service truck bodies, and yeah, we definitely want to give a shout out to him. He was great partner that came on board last year and gonna stick with us. He's gonna be with us for the long haul. I can tell that. So definitely want to shout out to him. And then we got lots of other partners that help us and supply us parts. CP Carrillo, Lincoln, they provide our welders for us. Redline Oil, we couldn't do without Redline Oil. I mean, they provide all our oil for us. Champion spark plugs, Gates belts. The list just goes on and on. I mean, we couldn't do without the support from all these companies. And as time goes by, and the more years I'm racing up here in Nitro, we keep getting more and more. TMS Titanium, they help us. Bell helmets. It's just the list just keeps growing, and I just want to thank them all because it helps tremendously.
Sounds great, Chad. And
Hunter,
Hunter, anybody? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just want to add to that. And just for any of your listeners that don't know, that I do split the car with Blake Alexander, and Blake brings some big sponsors to the table with Pronto.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be driving if it wasn't for Pronto and Blake's sponsor. They even sponsored me for a few races last year, so big shout out to them.
Yeah, Pronto, Schaeffler, Drive,
Parts
Authority.
Well, those guys, appreciate them all because they help bring you guys to the drag strip and help give us the thrills of watching you race and watching you win. So
And Rottler Manufacturing, definitely Rottler Manufacturing. We got to throw them in there. Those guys have been great. They're helping getting our machine maintenance, program in order. And yeah, big help to Rottler.
awesome. Yeah, you can't build a machine shop without the right parts.
That's right.
Fantastic. Well, Chad Hunter Green, thank you so much for coming on tonight. You've been so generous with your time. I can't wait to go check out the YouTube channel. I'll be hopping over there right after this.
Right on.
Have a fantastic year. It's coming up fast. Here it is, January 26th already. You heading out to Pomona here pretty soon?
Yeah, we're heading to Gainesville first.
Gainesville,
So
that's right.
yeah, we got a test session coming up February 14th. We'll be headed to Gainesville to test for a week, and then we'll be back couple weeks after that, March the 5th, to get it all kicked off.
Sounds great. Thank you, sir. Have a great, great season. We look forward to catching up down the road. Look forward to seeing more shout outs, and Miss Kay will have to pin you down somewhere. Thank you. Chad Green, Hunter Green, thanks so much, guys. Have a great evening.
You guys, this was fun.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's say farewell and to Chad and Hunter individually, and then we'll turn it over to JB for this week's JB's Take. John, take it away.
How was it? I feel good.
You mentioned Connor Lexino mentioned you.
Yes, I did.
There you go, John. Go for it. You're on mute, my friend.
Sorry about that. I have a sore throat, y'all, and I'll try to get through this and keep my voice. I wasn't able to secure a Racer of the Week for this show, but I thought I'd offer a JB's Take, which tonight is the story of my best ever guitar, my 1962 Gibson Melody Maker. This guitar is 64 years old. In 1974, I was living in a one-room flat in darkest Montrose, the center of the Houston underground scene. I had a few extra bucks and I levitated to Rockin' Robin Guitars down the street. This guitar was hanging on the wall. It was 100% factory stock. I fell in love with this guitar the second I laid eyes on it. Sometimes you just know when you see something like that it's meant to be a part of your life. I bought it on the spot. I took it home and played it. At that time, I was using a pawn shop 50s Fender Deluxe amp, the same kind that Scotty Moore played with Elvis when they started out. And my effects were a 9-volt battery-powered Electro-Harmonix LPB1, which was a linear power booster, an MXR Phase 90 pedal, and a Vox Crybaby wah-wah pedal. The guitar sounded okay, but in my opinion, it needed a complete overhaul. I decided to build it into a vision that I had for it. My friend Bob Schulenberg was staying with me for a few months, and together we completely disassembled it and started over from scratch. The first thing I did was take it to Dan Erlewine's Houston shop and had a set of Grover tuners put on it. I'm not sure if that'll show up on the... Anyway, I got the Grover tuners put on it to replace the original Gibson plastic tuners. I also replaced the original tone and volume knobs with clear speed knobs. Then I removed the original sunburst finish and I took it down to the natural wood. Me and Bob sealed it in 4 coats of polyurethane, and the guitar lacked power, so we installed a more powerful pickup magnet from my old Gibson SG. It improved the presence and projection, and I played this guitar for the next 10,000 hours. I played till my fingers bled. I was jamming with my friends and writing songs with it. It became part of me. But there was still an issue with its tuning that I couldn't quite figure out. I purchased an original 1976 Leo Kwan Badass Bridge, and it's... Wait, I lost my place, man. It's a clone of a Gibson Tune-O-Matic bridge sitting inside a stop bar tailpiece. It replaced the original wraparound stop bar tailpiece, but it wouldn't sit straight like it was supposed to. And I put the original tailpiece back on and I continued to play it, but I had to retune it every 15 minutes. I didn't mind. It wasn't until a few years ago that I happened to have it with me when I showed up at my friend Jim Fulton's shop. Jim saw what the problem was right away. The bolts holding the bridge in place were too small. He replaced them with properly sized bolts, and from that moment on, the guitar has stayed in perfect tune with the Badass Bridge. Thanks, Jim Fulton. I've had several guitars over the years: Stratocasters, Les Pauls, SGs, basses. 6 and 12 strings acoustics, and I still have them, but I've gone back to using my melody maker that I've had for 52 years, and it sounds better now than it ever has. The City Kings love the sound it makes. It has its own voice, and I'm still to this day amazed at its beautiful tone and its smooth playability. I can't help but believe that this instrument was meant to live with me. It's been a wonderful ride, and I look forward to reaching the right notes with it in the future. Everybody stay safe and well. You are the most important part of this show, and we love you all. It's a great way to spend an hour together on a Monday night. Have a great 2026, folks. We'll see y'all next time. God bless America. Back to you, BP.
Thank you, John. It's a great guitar, man. Have I had the opportunity to hear it? Well, did I hear you play it when I heard you play a couple times?
No, I was playing my Stratocaster when you were here, and also the 6-string Devil ESG that I auctioned off at Blues for Becky back in 2002.
Gotcha.
So no, this one, I'm sure you'll get to hear it eventually. I did
That's
some
what I'm talking
recording
about.
with it. You know,
Sounds like it's worth making a trip.
right.
Thank you, John. Let's talk about well, number one. I hope you all came through the ice storms okay. It was super cold all through the country. My son Jason and I basically had to chop through glaciers on our driveway today to get him out to go to work. But hope you all did okay. Let's talk about upcoming guests. We have next Monday night, we got Luke Bukacki, the IHRA dual champ. And of course, he's been one of the top sportsman racers for years. Luke will be joining us next Monday night. Thanks so much. February 9th, Vito Macholo, the Nostalgia Pro Mod Association, is coming up. Looking forward to that on September 16th or February 16th, rather. I have to announce that I have to be off for a work event that's just popped up. So we were going to have McKenna Bold on the show, the fabulous top alcohol dragster racer who just hit her best numbers ever here in 2025. So Miss K will get McKenna rescheduled. My apologies, but we will not have a show on February 16th. And in February 23rd, we are so excited. The man himself, Animal Jim Foyer, one of the grandfathers of pro mod racing with that big old mammoth Mercury called Zeke, the Wonderbird and the Psychotic Probe. Just one of the nicest guys, one of the smartest guys you'll ever meet, but one of the wackiest and coolest guys as well. Animal Jim Foyer joins us on February 23rd. Lots of other big names coming, including Miss McKenna Bold, who will get rescheduled as soon as we can. Um, Going on to those we lost, folks. There were a few folks from early January we did not mention before, and I'm going to mention them for the first time tonight. So we're a little late on these, but these are great racers that deserve to be remembered for sure. On the 6th of January, we lost Tom Hovland. Tom Hovland, a funny car racer from Mason City, Iowa. He raced the main attraction set of cars, Nitro funny car racer from the mid 70s until the mid 80s. One of the top guys out of Division 5, often using one of Tom Hoover's former cars, but he went out there and made a name for himself, sometimes mistaken because their names were very similar. But Tom Hovland, the main attraction, passing away on the 6th. Thank you for the thrills over the years, sir. And then going back a generation, Nando Haas passed away on the 9th of January. Nando was an early top fuel driver. He was a unique and memorable name. Sounds kind of more like a European F1 racer, but his big moment came with a top fuel victory at the Hot Rod Magazine Championship event at Riverside. And he took on an all-star field and came out on top. Nando raced the Smizer and Haas machine. Thanks to Steve Gibbs for this info and farewell to Nando. And again, these guys are all over the drag racing list, so you can find them and look up the cool things they did. But farewell to Nando. And then on the 16th, we lost Robert Wayne Ewing, 80 years old from New Freedom, Pennsylvania. He passed away peacefully. And a great guy, raced a 69 Camaro. Farewell to Robert Wayne. Another major name here from folks out of the Midwest and a lot of our friends. And I've seen this gentleman race, Randy Henning, passed away on the 21st. Randy raced the Starship Enterprise alcohol funny car, a cool looking little Omni, but he was better known, certainly in later years, as the manager of Great Lakes Dragway. He was a successful racer as well as a respected business owner. And along with his wife Claire and a lot of folks kept the track going, turning it into a real viable multi-use facility. Randy's passing brings a lot of memories for a lot of folks, and he will be missed. A lot of our friends up on Facebook offering love to Randy Henning and farewell, sir. I got to see you race at Norwalk, Ohio in 1982 for the first time. Great, great man. On the 24th, we lost Richie Hankel, who raced at Raceway Park, Englishtown, with a big old Chevelle. Farewell to Richie. And then finally, on the 24th as well, we lost Cliff Rigel, a super stock Camaro racer. So, you know, our condolences to the family and friends of these great racers, and just thanks for the thrills over the years, guys. Proud to remember you tonight. And with that, John, that wraps our show. Any final thoughts from you?
Well, it was just great having Chad and Hunter Green with us tonight. They gave us a fantastic interview, and it was very informative and interesting. That everything that Chad and Hunter had to say for us, and I really appreciated them coming in, and I appreciate Kay getting them for us too.
She's awesome, and yeah, and they were fantastic, and Kay was so excited, so really glad to do it. And they came through. They were awesome. So let's do our final wrap. We want to thank Chad and Hunter Green, who were terrific. John Bachman, of course, my brother, Kay Turkelson, Pete Mariello, Rob McCabe, David Oakes, Mel Bashore, Ron Toombs, John Mernon II, putting those great photos up, and Jeff Gilder, who got us our start. But he just went through, I think, a birthday about a week ago. So happy birthday, Jeff. And of course, thanks in heaven to Danny White. Just thinking about Danny yesterday because there's two Facebook groups that Danny started and was the admin for that I haven't been able to take over yet. And I'm working with Facebook to try to make that happen, but they're being Facebook, so we'll work it. But thanks so much to everybody for joining us tonight. We had a great time. Check out on dragless.com every day to see what's new. Find us on the Radio Bob Network, which also showcases our shows. And please like, share, and subscribe, folks. And finally, we'll see you next Monday night, February 2nd, for Luke Bogacki. We're going to find out what it takes to be one of the top sportsman racers on the planet in both a series of drag racing, but last year winning 2 IHRA crowns. So farewell, folks. Have an awesome, awesome week. Stay warm out there. And let me hit the magic button here, which I wish was up here so I didn't have to look away from you. But all the best and see you down the road. Bye, everybody.